Bonjour, today on Travelling Fabulously, it's all about the best coffee in Paris. By the end of this video, I'm going to be like this. Yes.
You know what I say, whatever you do it fabulously. So why don't you come and join me on this week's episode of Travelling Fabulously.
The French really do get a bad rap, or especially Parisians, when it comes to coffee. So I thought I'd show you that there really is some great places to go and have coffee in Paris. Meanwhile, I've got to learn not to walk into the sun whilst recording these videos, especially when it's right in your eyes.
First stop, Seasons Cafe on Rue Charles-François Dupuis. In the third, where you can sit and relax outside. Hang up your bike and sit and watch the world walk past at Oni on Boulevard Saint-Martin in the 10th. Whilst you're there, you can have a good coffee as well. You might catch me either working away at Cuillier on Rue Montmartre or down the road at Matamata. You might even spot me with Lenny at Cafe Kitsune in the Palais Royal. So apparently, the French like to dip their croissants in their coffee. The Italians, they like to dip biscotti. And the American, well, they have George Clooney. Who wouldn't like to dip George Clooney in some coffee and, you know. Just saying. Well, enough of that.
Many Australians are actually responsible for some great coffee here in Paris. Here's just a couple of places run by Aussies.
With surfboards on the wall and cinnamon scrolls and scones on the menu, a coffee shop on Rue de Lourmel in the 15th can't be mistaken for anything other than Australian. Next stop, Hardware Society in Paris, on Rue Lamarck in the 18th. They have Padre Coffee all the way from Melbourne and some of the best cafe food in town. Honore Cafe on Rue Saint-Honore in the 8th are the trailblazers for Aussie cafes in Paris. Here's why one of the owners, Daniel, thinks that Aussies are so good at coffee here in Paris.
Because there's a coffee scene in Australia that is further ahead than what is here in Paris, so it's something that's sort of a cultural thing that when they come here then it makes sense that they would do it. So I think that's the short answer.
The same people that have Honore Cafe over at Rue Saint-Honore also have Neighbours. Well, we all have neighbours, don't we? Neighbours, everybody needs good neighbours. Being one of the 19.6 million people that watched Scott and Charlene's wedding, I couldn't not come over to Neighbours and have a coffee. Helps that the coffee's good too. My first vlog was on the best croissants in Paris, and I showed you how the French like to dip their croissants in their coffee. So I tried it, not a good experience, I can tell you that now. No. So I'm going to show you what the Australians like to do. We like to dip our Tim Tams in our coffee. Thank you Galeries Lafayette for having these on stock. So what you do is you take your Tim Tams and you dunk it in your coffee. It's called a Tim Tam dunk or a slam dunk or something like that. These are so going to be gone all by the end of the day. So what you do is, and you can try this with George Clooney if he'll let you. You bite the end of the Tim Tam like that. Oh, I dropped it. Better make sure the dog doesn't get any. No, not for you. Then you take the other end and you bite the other end. Then you dip your Tim Tam in your coffee, and you suck, so to speak. Yum. And then you just pop it all in your mouth because it gets all gooey. Much better than a croissant. Possibly not as good as George Clooney, but we'll just have to wait and see. I hope he's got my number. If you don't, George, just email me. Message me. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Travelling Fabulously. As I said, I will be a little bit like this at the end of this video because I've had so many coffees. Well, alright, maybe not really, but you know, I feel a little bit buzzed. So if you like this video, press the like button down below. And of course, subscribe to Fabulousness by hitting the subscribe button. Share me around with your friends. I love to be shared around. And above all, tune in next Thursday for more Travelling Fabulously.
You know what I say, whatever you do it fabulously. So why not join me on Travelling Fabulously?